Everyone. I would like to quickly introduce you. I'm working for a French startup company, which is called NeoMedLight, and I'm in charge of the sales and marketing globally. So just give you a quick insight of what the company is. So NeoMedLight is a French startup based in Lyon that was founded in 2014, and it was based on a collaboration with brochure technology, which has found a way of weaving together optical fibers and tissue. And so they create a fabric which has the property to emit light through that tissue. So the company was founded in 2014 with brochure technology as one of the main shareholders, and the other founder, which is Pierre Saint-Giron, the actual CEO of the company. The first product that was developed is called Bilicocoon. It's a phototherapy device, everything light through that fabric to treat neonatal jaundice of newborns. That product is actually sold in between 25 and 30 countries across the world through a network of distributors, essentially distributors. And we are selling including in China, Latin and Central America, and USA, and of course, Europe. Later in 2019, NeoMedLight developed another technology which is called Carmin 650, based exactly on the same technology, which is emitting light through a fabric. The difference is that the wavelength is different. We are talking about red light. And in 2019, NeoMedLight get funding from the program H2020 from the European Commission to help to bring that technology to the market. So that technology is addressing side effects of cancer treatments, especially and more precisely head and neck cancer, breast cancer, but of course, all type of cancers treated by either radiotherapy or chemotherapy are eligible for these side effects. So these side effects are mucositis and dermatitis, which is in terms of radiotherapy side effects affects between 70 and 90% of the patients, and in chemotherapy affects up to 60–70% of the patient. Globally, all cancer inside, it's affecting about 30% of the patients, and that represents at worldwide 3 million patients every year. If we look at mucositis, which is really one of our focus, in 2020, there were reported only in the top 5 countries in Europe 625,000 cases of patients suffering from mucositis, and dermatitis about 1 million. Today, most of the time, these side effects, which are very debilitating for patients, going to impossibility to eat, to drink, stopping, interrupting, or totally stopping the cancer treatment, and having a huge impact on quality of life and outcomes for the cancer, the treatment cancer. Most of the time, these side effects are not treated, or by cream or by painkillers. In some cases, people which are a little bit familiar with photobiomodulation are using old technology like lasers. And so that's why we come with the Carmin 650. So photobiomodulation, the principle is to emitting low-level port light to relieve pain, and heal wounds, and generating acceleration of cell generation. So laser is well known, very well documented. Photobiomodulation is recommended by the scientific societies across the world to be a front line treatment to treat these side effects of cancer treatments. The problem is that these technology like laser or LEDs today are very operator dependent. You don't have dosimetry control at all, and you cannot repeat the same parameters of treatments between different sessions. That's why with the K-mean, we bring to the market a very accurate phototherapy and proven technology. You have a very, very precise control of the dosimetry. It's totally operator independent. And so as such, you can repeat exactly the same parameters of treatments session after session. It's very quick. The treatment in prevention takes between 5 and 10 minutes per patient. And in curative setting, the whole session is taking between 15 and 20 minutes. I'm going down. So the system is based based on basically 3 components. You have a light box, which is emitting light. In the light box, you have 3 LEDs, which is emitting the light. It's very easy to use. It's a touch screen. And basically what the operator has to do, the only thing he has to do is to choose the dose of the treatment between 1 and 9 joules per square centimeter. And everything else is calculated by the device. The light box is a capital equipment. It's a one shot. Is validated for a use about 4,000 patients. But we have today in office a device which is turning since more than 10,000 hours and without any problem for that. And then the business model is based on consumables. So the pads, which are the part of the system with the tissue emitting light, are consumables. We have two types of pads available on the market today. So if the one that you see on the right, it's the oral pad for mucositis in the mouth. The one in the middle is the dermapad, the one which is used for dermatitis in the neck, on the breast. But we have several hospitals also using it in the perianal region. And then we have the third one, which is, sorry, totally on the right, is the upcoming, which is not CE mark yet. It's a device which is designed for vulvovaginal and atrophy and vaginal dryness for women receiving hormonal treatment after breast cancer treatment. So the setting and the treatment of a keramine, and you see here on the picture, or it works for both treatment into the oral cavity or treatment dermatitis on the neck, for instance. The total setting of a treatment of a patient is between 15 and 25 sessions. Each session is taking between 2 and 5 minutes per application, and you have 2 applications. As I told you, the dosage of the device is very well controlled. So we have a very precise dosimetry control. So you are sure that the power of the light, which is emitted by the device, is exactly the same dosage of light which is absorbed by the cell in the mouth or on the skin to generate cell regeneration. It's very accurate, it's very safe and used, so it's CE mark since now April 2020. It's fast, it's easy to use, as not operator dependent, and just one parameter to set up on the light box. Very adaptable into the setting of a radiotherapy oncology department into the hospital. Photobiomodulation today in oncology is not reimbursed in Europe. There are some reimbursement codes in different countries, which is linked with dental therapy. So most of the hospitals are using similar codes to have reimbursement, but in oncology as such, there is no technology available today, neither laser, neither LEDs, neither the keramine, which is a specific reimbursement to treat mucositis in oncology setting. The upcoming solution for vaginal atrophy is a huge market. We are talking that more or less 60% of women after breast cancer treatment are suffering from vaginal atrophy and vaginal dryness. It has a huge impact on the life of patients, making almost impossible sexual life for these women, generating a lot of pain. And we make a very large randomized, very large search into the market in France. And we saw that 80% of these cases are not treated. Why? Because almost 50% of the women suffering from vaginal atrophy and dryness today have problems to talk about it to their doctor. It might be gynecologist, oncologist, or home doctor, but they don't dare talking about it. It's still a kind of taboo to talk about that. The other ones, most of the time, they receive cream from the physician, which is addressing a little bit the pain, but not addressing the cause of vaginal atrophy and dryness. And we know that photobiomodulation works on that because it's the principle of action is the same as the mucositis in the oral cavity. So we developed the vaginal applicator with the leading and with the advice of onco-gynecologist in France, very well known. Today in the market, there are a few devices available, but none of them has a CE mark in medical setting. It's devices that you can find on internet. So there is no real clinical proven technology available in the market today to treat that. It's very fast, it's very safe. It's one session per week for 4 weeks. And then you probably have a relief of 6 to 12 months before having another set of session. And we show it already to some experts in France, which are very enthusiastic to use the device. We're in the pre-launch phase, means that the device is ready for production. We are submitting now, we are preparing the files to submit to the new MDR approval in France to have the product CE mark, and we hope to have it in the loop of this year or early next year, latest for release on the market. So if we look in the market analysis, what type of patients are we addressing? Preferably leukemia patients, because patients which are prepared for stem cell transplantation receive very aggressive radiotherapy treatment for preparation. Head and neck cancer patients, and these type of patients, of course, it's addressing mucositis and dermatitis. And then we have hormone-dependent breast cancer patients, so women after breast cancer receiving hormone treatment, which is a lifelong treatment for the vaginal atrophy. All of that as a setup of more than 3 million patients in Europe only, and our cervical obtunded market is estimated at approximately 1 million patients today. That's for mucositis, as I explained you very early. So most of these patients are treated with mouthwash, with some painkillers. Some hospitals are already familiar with photobiomodulation, with lamps of laser, but the penetration of PBM today is less than 10% in Europe. So there is a huge need and a huge unmet market need to address that. The main competitor we have in Europe is an English company, which is called Thor. They are selling laser, and so they are very well established in the UK, less in the other, and they have also a very large scope of addressing veterinary, cosmetology, sport indications, while we are essentially focusing on oncology market for that. If you look at the business model, so the end user price list that we recommend is for the device, the Lightbox is a 7,500 euros. the light pads, which are consumables, and so in which you can treat between 3 and 5 patients with each light pad as an end user price of 1,200 euros. And then we have disposables sleeves, which are protecting single-use sleeves for patients, and that's for a box of 50, 550. A full treatment, which I remind you, is between 20 and 30, 35 sessions, would come between 400 and 500 euro in terms of end user cost, in terms of material for treating that patient. Today we have some countries which are already served by distributors. In France, we are direct as NeoMedLight. UK is served by a company which is called Oncology Imaging System. In Spain, we have ProInsa. In Australia, we have Paragon Care. In Switzerland, we have Intellimet. But all the other countries, we are looking for partnership with distributor in the other European countries. What is the planning and the time frame that we have? So we were launching the device in 2020 into the market. We launched a multicentric European study in 2021 to get FDA approval. Unfortunately, because of the COVID crisis, it has to be interrupted. Patient recruitment was almost impossible. Patient and hospitals postponing the treatment of the patients too far, and when the patients came in, they were already at the stage 3 or 4 of mucositis, which was an exclusion criteria because we were assessing the treatment of prevention for that. We are looking to have a pilot study for VVA starting later this year or into 2024 later. And then we would like to run 2 randomized studies, one on VVA and one on efficacy of Carmine on treatment and prevention of mucositis, with the goal to get FDA approval and reimbursement and enter the US market. And that would be in the loop of 2024 and running up to 25-26. So we are a small team, startup company. So Cédric Brochier is the president, is the chair, the majority chair of the company, and is also the owner of Brochier Technology, who was a company developing the technology of emission of light through a fabric. Pierre Saint-Giron is the other co-founder of the company in SDCO. So we have a R&D department. I'm leading the sales and marketing department. We have a medical director, and then of course we have finance and quality and regulation for that. We have several hospitals open in France. We have about 15 hospitals which are running today with the Carmine, large hospitals, including radiotherapy, chemotherapy department, but also hematology department like Saint-Antoine in Paris and IPC Marseille in France, which are very well-known centers at European level. We have a few centers in Belgium already, which I'm serving directly. We have 3 centers in Spain. We have 2 centers in Switzerland. And the other countries are under a process of local registration of the device and approval of the device. So,
Stephen, I'm very sorry. I see you are moving to the end of your presentation.
Yeah, it's the last slide. Yeah.
Yes. Please finish the slide, and then I would like to ask others whether there's any, let's say, really questions of interest.
Okay. So just in a nutshell, that's what I just said in the slide before. So we have a few countries covered in Europe. We have Emirates Arabs, which is also covering that, and Australia. So all the other regions we would like to be very interested. That was the purpose of joining this fair today, is to see if there were some companies in major European markets, Benelux, Italy, Germany, of course, we would be interested to initiate discussion for a potential partnership. So thank you very much. So if you have any questions, feel free.
Stephen, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Regarding to the questions, please, if there's any, I'm sure there is, please drop them to the chat to us, because in another 2 minutes there's going to be next presenter, and I don't want to cut them. So please, if there is a question, leave it in chat. I will direct them to Stephen and potentially connect you with him. So don't worry, there is nothing to be lost. And since there should have been a slight pause, but however, I believe it's okay to have another presenter right away.